Mahatma Gandhi was born on October 2, 1869, in the city of Porbandar, India, and throughout his life he fought for justice, freedom, and peace. As a key figure in India's independence movement, he led his people in a struggle against colonial rule through his philosophy of nonviolent resistance known as Satyagraha, which emphasized truth, moral strength, and peaceful protest. His influence extended beyond India, inspiring movements for civil rights and freedom across the world. In 1888, Gandhi traveled to England to study law at the Inner Temple in London. During this time, his commitment to vegetarianism deepened, and he became involved in vegetarian societies, seeing it not just as a dietary choice, but as an ethical stance based on the principle of ahimsa, meaning non-violence towards all living beings. After returning to India in 1891, he struggled to establish himself as a lawyer, and even had to place a job advertisement in a newspaper due to financial difficulties. Eventually, he accepted an offer to work in South Africa, which became a turning point in his life. In South Africa, he directly experienced the racial discrimination faced by Indian immigrants under British rule. In 1893, during a train journey from Durban to Pretoria, he was forcibly removed from a first-class compartment, despite holding a valid ticket, simply because of his skin color. This humiliating incident deeply impacted him and marked the beginning of his lifelong fight against injustice. Over the next 21 years, he organized nonviolent resistance movements and civil disobedience campaigns, laying the foundation for his later activism in India. Upon returning to India in 1915, Gandhi traveled across the country, listening to the struggles of peasants, workers, and marginalized communities. He encouraged self-reliance through khadi, hand-spun cloth, and led campaigns against oppressive policies such as the 1919 Rowlatt Act, which allowed the British government to imprison Indians without trial. In response, he called for a nationwide strike and peaceful protests. One of the most significant events of his struggle was the 1930 Salt March, a protest against the British-imposed salt monopoly and high salt taxes, which particularly affected the poor. Gandhi and 78 followers embarked on a 385-kilometer, 240-mile journey from Sabarmati Ashram to the coastal village of Dandi, a march that lasted 24 days. Along the way, thousands joined, making it a powerful symbol of defiance against British rule. Upon reaching the coast, Gandhi picked up a handful of salt, breaking the British law and inspiring millions to do the same. Beyond his political activism, Gandhi was also a strong advocate of a simple and disciplined life. His commitment to vegetarianism reflected his belief in nonviolence, spiritual purity, and self-control. For a time, he refrained entirely from consuming any animal products, but when his health declined, he resumed drinking goat's milk on the advice of his doctors. It is said that he even traveled with a goat to ensure a constant supply. Gandhi also believed that celibacy was essential for spiritual and moral strength. At the age of 37, he took a vow of complete sexual abstinence, known as Brahmacharya, believing that overcoming desires would bring him closer to truth and self-discipline. However, his method of testing his self-restraint by sleeping beside young women sparked controversy. While he considered it a way to strengthen his control over desires, many criticized the practice on ethical and psychological grounds. India gained independence on August 15, 1947, but Gandhi was deeply saddened by the violent conflicts between Hindus and Muslims, which led to the partition of India and Pakistan. To promote peace and unity, he undertook hunger strikes, refusing to eat until the violence ceased. His efforts were instrumental in easing tensions, but they also angered extremist groups who saw his actions as favoring Muslims. On January 30, 1948, Gandhi was assassinated in New Delhi by Nathuram Godse, a Hindu nationalist who opposed his policies of religious tolerance and nonviolence. As Gandhi collapsed from the gunshot wounds, his last words were reportedly, "Hey Ram, O God," expressing his lifelong devotion to truth and faith. Mahatma Gandhi's philosophy of nonviolent resistance and his commitment to justice have inspired leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr., Nelson Mandela, and many others who fought for civil rights and freedom. Today, he remains a global symbol of peace, self-discipline, and human rights, reminding the world that change can be achieved through moral courage and nonviolent action.